Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Valis 2, and this is the level where we dig with a sword. Rush into Act 3, Valia should not be able to help you. Okay, this level is far easier than the last two. First off, the snails are no longer armed to the teeth. And well, we actually have a lot more hit points to play with. Oh, and here's our next new weapon, the Exploder. This is a rather interesting utility weapon that we're going to be using extensively throughout this stage because we can use it to dig. However, digging only happens in this stage, so the weapon is actually fairly powerful. It travels in a fine upward arc, and it sticks on the plane where it was fired by Yuko and explodes into those 4 stars that linger. Each of those 4 stars that linger do as much damage as the original actual projectile. We also just got an upgrade for the offense armor, which will come in pretty handy. In fact, I decided to just plain switch to it for this one, because the benefit of hit points we get far outweighs the damage reduction we're getting from the defense suit at this point, until of course we upgrade that all the way out too. Because the Exploder is used so extensively, I see no reason to use any other weapon throughout the rest of this level. And I can't avoid falling on snails, it's just a curse. Anyway, the real thing about this level isn't that it's actually difficult to progress through, it's that there's so much stuff you can miss if you don't explore and dig through the level thoroughly. Like the first time I played through this game, I missed another upgrade for the offense armor. Okay, I figured out how to dig. And that's the last upgrade for the offense armor. The armors that we have anyway, max out at level 3, and we've already picked up all 3 levels of this particular armor. Which is okay, there are only 6 levels in this game, so maxing out stuff that pretty much has to happen right in the middle. Jumps once again defy me. Anyway, if any of you were wondering why what I say doesn't match up at all with what the actual text is, here's the thing. In the actual Japanese version of this game, well, the non-translated version, the act and boss messages are actually in English. Horrible, horrible English. Worse than SNK English, as you might have guessed. Because at least SNK English has some idea of what it's trying to say. In case our first upgrade to the Exploder doesn't make it more powerful, it just allows us 2 projectiles on the screen at once instead of just the 1. And I think about here is where I managed to somehow get lost. This has never actually happened before. I didn't really have the heart to remove it. You are now playing a maze of twisty passages all alike. I really shouldn't have gotten lost here, but I get the feeling that some people are kind of tired of seeing perfect plays on Let's Plays. Though real perfect plays would be the kind of thing that show up at the speed demo archives. And I think I backtrack all the way back to the beginning of the level, somewhere around here. Oh yeah, there I go. Oh yes, you may have noticed that while I have the evade equipped, I'm not actually going to be using it for the rest of the Let's Play because, well, it does provide quite a benefit. It costs 15 jewels, the most expensive special item in the game, and that includes the invincibility. Well, temporary invincibility power-up. And the thing is, by eliminating all of the spawns, it eliminates your ability to recover any jewels you used in getting the weapon, because you can only get jewels by defeating enemies. And if there are no enemies, well, there you go. Anyway, we picked up an upgrade to the laser back there, which is going to be incredibly useful later on. I think it's my go-to endgame weapon. There's also another reason that I'm saving up jewels, but the next level will require a lot of them, and not because I need to use special items all the time. It's somewhat different than the kinds of stages we've been seeing so far. And another upgrade for the defense armor. Still though, since it isn't maxed out, it's no comparison to what I'm using right now. And it looks like I finally found my way forward. Maybe I should have drawn a map for this level, too. That's right, I had to draw a map for this game. Now that should take you back. Anyway, we're at the boss, but I'm going to have to stop my stuff for a moment because this is where I had to deal some stuff with the recording, so bear with it for about 10 seconds or so. Okay, now we're going to fight Gaius, who's apparently holding the Phantasm Jewelry. And before we fight Gaius himself, we need to defeat his giant Rogueless bot. He's no big deal, but it is a bit of a surprise to most people who are just expecting the boss to show up. And here Gaius is. Now, Gaius has never actually beaten me, but he has given me a couple of scares, unlike most of the other bosses. He moves quickly, and since the controls sometimes conspire against me, I end up doing stuff like that. And he has a fair share of hit points, and you can't really exploit the chainsword glitch on him either, so you're just going to have to tough it out, like the way the designers actually intended you to fight a boss, for once. Amazing. Still, though, the Exploder is a pretty strong weapon and very useful because of how it travels up. I'd say he's almost formidable. Coming this summer. Oh god, you may want to have that looked at. I mean, it's not as deep as a well or wide as a church door, but still. Yeah, I kinda get this. While to outsiders it may not seem the same, to your average evil henchman, there's probably a world of difference between serving, say, Darth Vader and serving Daleks. And there it goes. Yoink! Okay, this guy is Hazen, and since he's so purple, for the remainder of the Let's Play of this game, I'm going to be referring to him as Alexander the Grape. And it's no wonder Alexander the Grape got here so quickly. He seems to have boosters attached to his legs. Oh geez, he calls himself that? Hey, guys, you know sometimes there are no words? Ah, good. Yuko finally has a spine. Well, that took her from 60 to 0 really quick. The thing that gets me about playing this version is Valia is an entirely different character here than she is in pretty much every other version of the game. We'll be seeing more of that after the end of the next stage. But for now, she is shackled by plot and techno stuff. Things. I mean, in the last game, Vali just served Yuko her drafting papers and sent her off into the meat grinder. But anyway, that brings us to the end of this one.